right. Okay. So we are going to be next week talking about real and make believe, and then the text number that are addressed is K.6. And so we just kind of did an overall and wrote reading, comprehension of literary text, theme, and genre. And then your background information that you need to read before, which all of us brought our stuff, is Jack and the Beanstalk from our Reading Street Big Book series. Mm-hmm. So, any ideas? We brought the big book and we talked about the big book, but then I know that a lot of you guys talked about that we could introduce other versions, because I know this is a very different version.
I had went to the library and I saw Jack and the Beanstalk and everything had the ogre, so I saw Kate and the Beanstalk. So I thought maybe we could do read like both of the books and maybe have like a different, like a double bubble map, or do like a Venn diagram, and do like Jack and Kate and what they have differently and what they have together. So
I've never seen that book.
And
that's awesome.
And they have the same one, but not the old version of Jack and the Beanstalk where he fell down and
with
was
the giant.
with the giant. It was
the ogre. The giant
Everything is with
right?
the ogre.
Yeah.
So, but I saw Kate and I was like, okay, there's a comparison. Like we've done other things with other books that we've had in the past. So
that'll be good. Add that in.
Go ahead. Okay, I'll go. I'm talking about like making a tree map of things that are real and things that are make-believe, and then going back and talking about what were the things that were real in the story and what were the things that could be make-believe.
Okay.
So just going back
and that kind of goes along with, I had a few spots in here that I had stopped and like put post-it notes about, you know, could this be real or is this make-believe, and just kind of walked through and asked questions with it.
Then that way that kind of reminds you as you're reading too, with those post-it notes.
And you can even do that like on the big book and take the post-it notes and the kids come up with the questions and you can stick it on the
That's a
big
good
book.
idea.
Good idea.
And then that'll tie in too with our centers, because we had talked about typing out statements, and then for Pocket Chart they'll have to reenact that tree map that you talked about.
Okay.
And do real statements or facts and opinions. So
Right.
you can kind of take it in just a step further with facts.
Or
and
even the
opinions.
bubble map, you can do the same with
Exactly.
the fact. And
So we could do that first, and then they would.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
I like
idea.
that.
Well, and here are the like story retell. You can put them on popsicle sticks and have them retell it also.
You could
To
use
go
those
on.
sequencing cards with that too.
Yes, and I added on the sequencing cards because there's no words, and so I put like first, then at the last one I put last, just so that you have more to go on, because it just is kind of, I don't like how our sequencing cards are just a picture.
And they leave out some of it.
They
Which
leave
is
out
what the
some
kids-
big parts.
And the kids
Yeah.
need that,
Yeah.
because even when they're retelling in their DRAs, they forget those middle points.
Yeah.
So that helps them to remember all
Like
those
that.
middle points. I like it.
Because I put props in mine. I said we could use props like make a beanstalk and a jack and then have the kids act it out.
Climb
And that
up.
would be cute to do with that, and they could do it with partners too.
Yeah.
Another thing that we talked about, and that was also on the thing on Eduphoria, talked about using the vocabulary. So we could start like a list of vocabulary, because I know that a lot of these stories have different vocabulary that the kids aren't used to. And so we could just kind of have a vocabulary, and this would be where you could take it for the higher kids and then bring it down for the lower kids as well. But some of the optional vocabulary was lad on page 2, confess on page 8, agree and lend. And I know that that would be something that we could maybe even have some of the other kids that know how to use a dictionary go and find that word for us and tell us the definition, and then we could put it back in the book and go, does that make sense? And
That's a good
and
idea.
talk about
That's
it
a good
that
idea.
way. So
And this would be good for some of your higher level thinkers. I got this from Mrs. Mears, and it has like, the giant was tired of saying fee, fi, fo, fum, make up a new set of words. Just like critical thinking, and then create 2 more treasures that the giant might have found. So just kind of making them think outside the box instead of just answering a worksheet. And
that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And they may even be able to like act that out with
Yeah.
their little small group, like during guided reading time.
Right.
They could act that
And
out.
we can, you know how we doing the sticks right now? Put those Jack's mother and everybody on
Popsicle
on
sticks.
Yeah,
popsicle
and then
sticks
have it in
and
the
do
center.
like
And
a
they're
little
loving
accident.
that.
Yeah, and have them act it out.
And they
So-
really do good with retail when they can look back in the book, they can use the book and look back in for details. and-
And then have them create their own ending. What would you think your
Mhm.
ending?
That
So
was
we gotta
the other
get
one.
into this book, yeah,
But, yeah.
yeah, so.
I mean, I had
That'd
where
be awesome.
if they could ask the giant any question, what would they want to ask
That's
him?
a good one,
Oh,
that's a good
that's
one.
good.
And then you could even do that with the big book, and they could ask the giant a question, and I guess on one of the pages where the giant is, you can, I don't know. Come on.
You know what I thought was interesting on this one, because I know all of these versions are so different, but in this big book, down at the bottom, like by all of the words, it has the picture of who's talking. So we could talk about who's talking right now, and they would look there and say who it was. On the first page, it shows the picture of the ogre, which is right here, but then it shows Dad on this
Right.
picture, but then it's ogre down here. So it's like it's trying to tell you that in this story, the dad is ogre.
Is ogre.
And I thought that was interesting
It
because
is
I had never
interesting.
seen that version of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
It is.
So,
very interesting.
but then you can, I mean, that's just another way that you can talk to them about. In this book, they don't use quotation marks by what someone's saying. They're actually using their picture to tell you
pictures.
who's talking.
Like those are
Good,
their speech
yeah.
bubbles.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that
I
was
like
neat.
that,
Yeah, I
that
like
is neat.
that.
Yeah.
The new version of
Mm-hmm.
What other things did we talk about? We talked about using the Post-it notes and covering up different things. Stopping to discuss vocabulary. What about rhyming words too? You know,
Yeah, it
stopping
has a
because it
lot of
has.
rhyming words.
It had a few rhymes.
So we can
down.
do rhyming words and have them
Mhm.
stop and do what rhymes.
it. Mhm.
And did anybody else have anything different on their planning guide?
I also put a list of comprehension questions that I found online that we could ask that would work with either the original Jack and the Beanstalk or this one because it's the same. They ask the same questions about the golden harp and the hen that lays the eggs and stuff. So we could use that. for
Yeah, that'd be
comprehension.
really good.
Like that. That would be good.
And then identifying the characters and then the pictures with names. You had come up with something like
Yeah,
that.
we, in a center, we are gonna do where they have to match the character with the name of the
Like
character.
That's a
or
good
the
idea.
book. Yeah.
Mhm.
So they have to match those two. And then using the sequence cards and then just
Mhm.
adding to those, I think is great. 'Cause
Yeah,
then that
yeah.
gives more detailed.
They can also find out how many word wall words that they
Find their
have,
word
that they
Mhm.
can find in each
Like
of
put
the
it in a big
story.
book.
Yeah.
So that could
Yeah.
be one.
And then write the
On these,
list of the.
did
Uh-huh.
you have them where
That'd be
you
a good
were
idea.
gonna make them where they're already like this and then we read them, or could they even take it a step further and have them match the sentence? Like we could
Yes.
read the sentence and they could find a picture?
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
really
Like we did that one
Mhm.
time
Uh-huh.
when we did
Where they
for
match
writing.
it.
Mhm. That would work too.
I like it.
You
That's
could
really
use this
I
for
like
your
the sentences on.
lower level
Yeah.
because it's already matched, and then
And then your
higher level
could,
actually have them.
Yeah.
you could read the sentence and they can match the picture.
Match it to it.
Yep.
And then also another thing that we had talked about was just, and I think pretty much we talked about that, making inferences, just stopping and
Mhm.
saying, what do you think would happen, or what would you
Right.
do, or how would you change this, or how could we change this?
Like the ogre is mad, what do you think's gonna happen next?
Right.
Right.
Type stuff.
Or by looking at the
Awesome.
pictures, how do you think Jack feels in this picture? And
Very good.
Especially when on the first, like, why are we seeing Dad? And
Yeah.
then we have the ogre.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
that's a very.
On this one?
good
Or do you
question.
think that
Right,
could mean?
yeah, like, what is
Uh-huh.
that, what is that saying to you, so?
And what is this
I like that.
character, I mean, he's dad, but what is he thinking and feeling? Because he looks
Mhm.
like he's happy and then when you
Right.
look to the ogre looks angry and
Mad.
Right.
Well, and to help with their writing, when we go into their writing and details and stuff with their characters, like looking at the ogre and saying, how can you tell he's mad? Like, what does his face look like that
Mhm.
makes you know he's
That's
mad?
good. Yeah,
Mhm.
So that they know in their characters they can start drawing
they
those
can start drawing
those
those.
details.
good.
Yeah.
That is good. Yep.
Because in their pictures, a lot of times that's lacking,
Yeah.
their
Mhm.
feelings and those kind
Yeah,
of things.
everyone has
Mhm.
2 eyes in his mouth.
Right.
Yep.
Everybody's
Everybody's
smiling.
No hair.
Yeah. All right, well, that was awesome. Does anybody have any other ideas?
I think that's
Good.
good.
We're good.
Okay, so we're good to go.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.